Hi guys, how are you? I hope that you're doing amazing. Um, I am back with another episode of the Thought Curator podcast, and this episode is dedicated to the women. Since we are in the month of March, this episode is for the ladies in the house, for the mothers in the house, for the daughters in the house, for the for all the beautiful creatures that we have as women. Ah, it is such a joy to be a woman. I love being a woman. I love being a woman. I appreciate women in my life. I have women friends. I have sisters. I have colleagues who are women who are just amazing. I have my nieces who are women to be, and I appreciate that. I appreciate women so much for the beauty that we are. I It is unbelievable how God created us just to be these beautiful creatures. How curvy we are, how beautiful we are, how our hair just falls and it's just sexy to look at, and we have those beautiful smiles. We have those warm hearts that love and nurture. How we are able to bring our babies to the world and nurture them and breastfeed them and care for them. How we're able to go to work and be amazing leaders. How we're able to accommodate and love the people in our lives, our partners, our siblings, our brothers. How we're able to just have capacities for each and every person in our lives. How we are able to be just good, amazing friends. If you have friends who are women, you would know how beautiful women friendships can be, very vulnerable and very teary and joyful, and how laughy those laughs can be. How women are just creative beings, how we are intuitive, how we are overthinkers. How women are just built. It's just marvelous to imagine. So yeah, this is just to celebrate you as a woman, to remind you that you are special, you're important, you are beautiful, you are built for such a time as this. You have everything it takes to be all that you want to be. You are a worthy mother, you are a worthy friend, you are a good colleague, you're an amazing leader, and you deserve each and everything that you have. In this moment, you matter, you will always matter, and only if you would bring to fruition all the thoughts that you have, all the ideas that you have, only if you would let yourself loose and have the determination to pursue all the things that you want to pursue, how much you could achieve, how much you could give a voice to the things that are in your mind, how beautiful those ideas could be, how beautiful those ideas could come to life. This episode is dedicated to my mother, my mommy. I love you. You have been the greatest inspiration in my life. You have taught me so much. You have instilled so much values in me. You have taught me to be a God-fearing daughter. You have taught me to be a presentable human being to the society, a principled woman, a woman who walks right and values people and cares for people and and is confident enough knowing that they are worthy, they are enough. A self-driven woman, because I have seen how you have lived your life. A career woman who is still able to build a home, who is still able to submit to their husband, who's still able to care and nurture their children. Oh, mommy, you have taught me a lot. And I love you so much and I appreciate you. And also to my mommy love, who has been the epitome of everything beautiful. She's taught me how to show up and show up right. She's warm, she's caring, she's amazing. To my sisters and my sisters in love, to every woman that has a space in my life, to my friends. I have very, very amazing and beautiful women in my life that if I dive into it, we are going to take a minute. And since we said we are talking about women in leadership, I am a woman in leadership. And by virtue of being a woman leader, things are not always easy. I know things are not always easy. We face adversity. We face opposition. People remind you every day that you're a woman and you do not deserve to be here. You do not deserve to be leading me. I have been reminded of that. It is only and because I have invested in self-development, in self-growth, in knowing myself and in understanding myself and in knowing that I'm worthy to be here and in knowing that my qualifications set me apart for this role and in knowing that I am able to lead this team. And nothing you will say, nothing you will show me, nothing you will tell me will bring me down. It is the only attitude that has enabled me to stand and not quit. Because people will remind you that you're a woman. People will remind you every day that you're a weaker gender. People will want to overlook you in the decisions that you make. Do not give them a chance. Work hard so you're not underestimated. And when you get a seat at the table, advocate for others who you feel do not have a voice. I am the biggest advocate of, if I see an injustice, I will speak up for it. I will speak about it. So, being a woman leader is not easy. Having a good support system, having people you trust to talk to, having mostly having a partner you can come home to and complain to and supports you and listens to you and does not judge you is a is a pillar. It is very important to have that, because sometimes you would go to work and come back home feeling overwhelmed. You need someone who, when you come home and are able to tell them what has gone on throughout the day, they're able to listen to you and affirm you and remind you of why you're important, of why you matter, of why this thing should not get to you. As a woman leader, or just as a woman, or just as a working woman, remember to negotiate for your pay just as you deserve. Advocate for yourself. Make it clear to management that I value compensation as part of recognition. Ask for the pay. Men know how to negotiate better than women. I feel like we should learn to speak up for ourselves. Do not be the one that offers to take minutes every time during an important meeting. You're the one taking minutes, unless you're assigned. Don't be the one that offers just because it is gender roles to the women to take minutes. Don't be the one that offers to bring coffee for everyone during meetings just because. I know we are naturals. I know we are naturals by nature. But it does not mean that you take that to work. There are some things that should be left at home when you're going to work as a woman leader or as a working woman. Unless it is your job to do these things, do not offer to be the one that does them, because it puts you in the same position that you are trying to get ahead of. Always articulate your needs. Do not be the one that is shy not to say what they want. And whenever you feel like your power has been taken from you, take your power back. If you feel like you've been overlooked over something, ensure that your voice is heard. Do not come off too strong, but always ensure to speak up for yourself. Always ensure that you do things that show that I am here, I need to be valued. I should be valued. My voice matters. And always ensure to put yourself at a level where you're exceptional. And by being exceptional, the only way you're able to achieve exceptionality is if you polish yourself. Polish yourself to a level where you stand out. Do not entertain any innuendo of inappropriate. Because if you entertain these mischievous behaviors at work, a spanking here or there, an inappropriate word towards you, this shows people that you're entertaining it and that you are just like any other unprincipled woman out there. Do not entertain any form or any innuendo of inappropriateness. If someone is inappropriate with you, check them there and immediately. Choose a trait that represents you and successfully drive a high successful team. Make sure that in every task that you're assigned or that you assign yourself as a leader, ensure that you run with it to the end. Ensure that it is successful. Ensure that it identifies with you as a exceptional leader, as a excellent leader. Ensure that everyone knows that when this task is assigned to this specific person, they will do it to the end. Be authentic. Although there is a very fair and thin line between being vulnerable at work, but always ensure that you're authentic and vulnerable. Let people in. Be careful on how you let people in, but ensure that you let them in, because that's how you will be able to stay long term. Talk about family, talk about kids, talk about who you are, because I have learned that people follow people who can lean in, people they're able to relate with. Do not divulge too much though. Even in this situation, be very careful. Be very careful about what you divulge, because your team is all ears to see your weaknesses, to see where they can poke you, to see where your weakness lies. Just ensure that you do not divulge too much, but be yourself. If you're a bubbly person, be bubbly. If you love your kids, talk about your kids, but do not give loopholes for your team to overlook you. Ensure to bring your full self to work. Represent yourself fully. Keep it real. Be your true self. Give others the permission to be themselves as well. Because if you're yourself at work, even your team, they will be able to relate with you. They'll be able to have the permission to be themselves. Otherwise, people will be tiptoeing around you. Otherwise, people will be fake around you. Ensure that you communicate well. Ensure that you are able to create a community with your team. Ensure that you are able to build a strong relationships, even in your workplace. Ask for help and accept help. If you are not able to do something, it does not mean that you're weak. It does not mean that you're unable to. There's a reason why you're a leader. Ask people to help. Ask people to do the tasks. Do not be the only one that does everything. Don't be the one that carries all the burden. You know? Do not be afraid to have the tough conversations. Being a woman leader, this was the thing that I feared the most, having the tough conversations. But I have learned to. If there's one thing that I have learned to do, it's having the tough conversations with my team. I will literally call you and I will literally tell you as it is to your face. Because I realize that I do not have the advantage. I do not have the luxury of not saying exactly things not saying things as it is. How will that person learn? How will that person be able to correct their mistakes? How will that person be better if you do not let them know what you're thinking? I had a difficulty in addressing such things, but I have learned to have the tough conversations. I do not shy away from them because these are very instrumental in correcting behavior, very instrumental in achieving your targets, very instrumental in getting things done. This has helped me to be a better leader because my team can rely on me to tell them as it is. I will not be afraid to tell you. If you're doing something wrong, I will tell you. If I need you to do better, I will tell you. As a woman leader, if there's something else that I have learned, it is to show up strong. You do not have the luxury of showing up weak. Another thing is to always stick by your decisions. Make a decision and stick by it. You ensure that you stick by it. First, think it through. Think about it before you make that decision. And once you make that decision, you stick with it. Your team should not see that you're doubting yourself. You should not show any form of doubt in your leadership. Because if you're doubting yourself, how do you think others will think about you? Do not give room for doubt. Stick by your decisions. Be firm. Be firm about your decision making. Be firm about your directives. If you're giving a directive, make sure that you're firm about it. And in dealing with the opposite gender at work, be professional. Ensure that you do not cross boundaries, because there are some boundaries if you cross, there's no coming back. If those lines are blurred, there is no coming back. You will not be able to bring that relationship back to where it was. And this starts from the beginning. The moment that you are a leader, ensure that you start right. Set those boundaries from the beginning. This is not, I am not going to cross these boundaries with you. I am not going to go low. I am not going to play around with you. With the opposite gender, you have to be very, very clear on where you stand. I am your leader. I am your team leader. This is my role. My role is to nurture you into reaching these objectives and goals. My role is to ensure that we get to these targets. My role is to help whenever I can, to lead you in the right direction towards this. My role is to provide any instruments that you might need to get to where you need to be. My role is to support. My role is to correct. My role is to ensure that we are in line towards where we are going. My role is not towards anything around having personal relationship with you. Actually, if there's something that I've learned, it is knowing that work is work. When I go to work, I am going to work. I do not mix up the two, like I'm going to work, but there's room for any other thing. It is job. My brain has set itself up that if I'm going to work, it is work. I do not mix up the two. I separate my personal life from my work very well, because I do not want to mix up the two of them. If it is my job, I will do my job. Most of my team do not know about my personal life, because that is different. Being a woman leader, you do not have the luxury of mixing personal with business. It's business. This episode is going to be long. I do not need it to be longer than this. I hope that you get a few nuggets that will help you in your journey as a woman leader. I hope that you have gotten something from this episode, and I hope that you join my community. I hope that you join this community of beautiful, amazing people. And I hope that you love listening to me. And if you enjoy listening to me, you can follow me on YouTube. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. It's under Life with K on YouTube, and across all other podcast platforms, it's the ThoughtCurator podcast. You can hit the follow button so that we continue to build a community. You can let me know what you think about this episode and what you'd like to hear more about. Maybe our next episode will still be about women leadership or women in general. Yeah, so until that next time, thank you for tuning into the ThoughtCurator podcast. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for giving me your minute. See you in the next one, or let's interact in the next one. Bye.